Welcome to the Toffee Blues, your source for all things Everton, and this is the instant match reaction to Everton's 3-2 win away at Wolves. And we made it difficult for ourselves, as we typically tend to do. But I don't know, this seems like a very different Everton to what we're used to seeing. To be honest, it's one of them where. There's I think there's definitely more positives. Obviously, there's a lot of very overwhelming positives I think to be taken from today. But obviously, with that, it wouldn't be an Everton game without some negatives to take out of it as well. And namely, the fact that it almost seems to be that the last two seasons have been built on defensive solidity, while we've looked quite impotent in attack. Whereas now we look a lot more imaginative and creative going forward and scoring a lot more goals, and yet we seem to be letting more silly ones in now. I think both goals that Wolves score are very easily preventable. It's their bread and butter. It's what Vita Pereira has had them doing a lot. These low crosses, kind of late, almost towards the penalty spot area. We got caught out by them twice, both really due to poor positioning from defenders. I think Mikalenko has to be more decisive in the second instance, and so does Tarkowski really in trying to cut out the first ball. He seems to be very casual about it, thinking that no one's really going to be there. But obviously, Hwang's pace means he's in the right position. It's a very good cross. Not going to be wrong. Both of them well crafted goals, but our defense have to be more ruthless and clinical. And it almost the first one in particular, based on the fact we were in such control of the game, we almost seemed a bit too casual about it, and then breaking down the pitch. And Keane gets dragged over, with Mikalenko being pushed up the pitch. But Tarkowski should really be able to deal with that cross if he makes the move. He's probably there, and I think Pickford's expecting him to, and then he's caught out as well. So yeah, it's odd because I think the defense has been so solid the last 2 seasons. And obviously, we still don't have Brantford, which maybe you could argue with Brantford in the team. Those two goals don't happen today. He's someone who's really good at defending his 6 yard area. It was drilled into him under Dyche, and Moyes hasn't really touched that really because he hasn't really had to. But yeah, I think with the fullbacks pushing on a little bit more, we're going to get caught out down the flanks a little bit more. But that means our centre backs need to be on it, and they weren't really there. But I've gone down a bit of a rabbit hole there. I didn't really want to focus on the negatives too much. The positives are, of course, that the way we're playing football now is probably the best we've seen, I'd say, since the Ancelotti days. I think you have to go back that far, maybe even further potentially. I think we've actually got players who can pass the ball. It's wonderful to see. I mean, Grealish. What do you even say about Grealish? Because oh my word, he is just absolutely running the show for us at the moment. And you get the sense he's still not really fully fit. He was absolutely, um, you know, blowing out of his arse by the end of the game and had to be taken off. He's probably still not got 90 minutes in him, and yet for when he's on the pitch, he is just absolutely in control. And that's three teams we played now. Admittedly, one of them being Mansfield, who just cannot live with him at all. He is pulling all the strings. Um, and is so integral to how we play. Another two assists to his name now. That's four assists already in his first two league starts for Everton. Um, and Jai's scoring now. That's 2-2 for him in the league. Beto gets on the score sheet again. Really well worked goal to cap off a really exciting start from us. Like we still have this issue a little bit, but once we go ahead, we seem to sit off a little bit. And you could argue we probably we waited too long to make the subs in the second half as well, and that allowed balls back into the game and to make it a nervy ending when really we should have been in control. And with better game management, probably could have seen that game out even more comfortably than we did. Um, but the positives are that we're exciting to watch again. I think we're more patient in the attack. We seem to have clearer ideas about how to carve out chances. Um, and another three excellent goals added to the record. And as I say, we're scoring a lot more. Beto's confidence will be higher now, and Jai's will be rocketing. Grealish looks like he's loving life here, and has immediately won over the fans. Dewsbury Hall gets his first goal, um, and an assist as well. For him, James Garner looking really comfortable in that role, just Gay being his usual self. Say the only frustrations now somehow are with the defence. It's almost like we can't have a perfectly good team. But as I said, there's still very much the benefit of the doubt, as I mentioned, that if we can get Bramford back into the team and keep him fit for the season, then I think a lot of those issues do resolve themselves a little bit, and we just need to work out that balance between, um, the fullbacks getting forward and making sure they get back in time and having the necessary cover if they are caught out. You'd probably argue they're the weak points in the team now. I still have a lot of time for Mikalenko, but he does struggle a little bit with the overlapping, and if he does seem to really get caught out a little bit as well. And O'Brien, of course, is still a bit of an unnatural fit there. He's not the tightest on the ball, not a natural overlapper himself either, and that would really bolster our attack even more a little bit. But I guess maybe the focus should be on trying to keep that attacking impetus while keeping the fullbacks a little more defensive minded. I'm not sure. Obviously, we've still got a few days of the transfer window left. It's not looking likely that a right back's going to get brought in, if I'm honest. I think if anyone is going to be signed, it'll probably be a central midfielder. I know Souček's being heavily linked. Seemed almost inevitable we'd be after him in Moyes' first window here, but yeah, the team is clearly very improved, and obviously, you do worry a little bit about, say if Grealish gets injured, then just how effective will we continue to be going forward? But it's night and day from what we've been used to the last 2 seasons, so I'm more than positive about it. And that's 2 wins out of 3 in our first league season, and you could probably argue we were unlucky not to get at least a draw against Leeds, based on the circumstances in which the penalty was awarded, despite us not playing very well. But yeah, I say I feel like I've been a little more negative than I wanted to be here. I'm over the moon. I think I'm really excited by some of these new players we brought in, and having the likes of Alcaraz to bring off the bench is such a luxury. Dibbling didn't even make it off the bench. We've still got him to bed into the team. So yeah, it's an exciting time, and yeah, away wins have been, they've been we've been better with them since Moyes came in. To be fair, but we haven't had many in the last few seasons. I can't remember the last time we won at Molineux. I think you have to go back to the COVID season potentially. So, yeah, I'm pleased. And yeah, that is pretty much yeah, the summary of this reaction. So yeah, please leave a like if you enjoyed. Comment below, giving your thoughts about the game, what you made of the goals, who excited you and who disappointed you in the team. Subscribe to the Toffee Boost channel for more Everton content, and we will see you in the next video. Up the Toffees.